Chapter 5, the Antler Trinket. Everybody is so excited about the Sovereign Dragon tournament and participating in it. And when I say everybody, I mean Hexa mainly, and Zaxxas is excited, and Nicholin is excited. Again, we see Ilya not being as excited because she's more so wanting to make sure that she gets to the World Serpent first. Volk initially is leery about wanting to participate because he's like, well, crap, if I'm an apprentice and I've only been bonded for like a year and a half at this point, then I'm going to get my ass whooped by some master arcanist that's been bonded for several decades or centuries. But Gilly does explain that they do them in steps. So anybody that's been bonded for 2 years or less is going to fight in the apprentice round, and then so on and so forth for the journeyman, master, and the elite rounds as well. And of all the reasons that Volk decides that he wants to train harder, not because of Zaxxas and his competition with Zaxxas, not because Luther is trying to encourage him with the steps, but he decides the tournament. The tournament is what he wants to, what he really wants to push himself for.
And this just feels like Ilya's, right idea, the wrong reasons. You are every year getting hounded by and tried to be killed by someone. Those should probably be the motivating factors, not winning a tournament.
Right. Like, again, let's make survival a fairly good reason for this, especially because you know that you're in a guild that's going to put you in a dangerous position, especially because you're dealing with plague-ridden mystical creatures, because that's what your specific master and apprentices are involved with. So maybe survival should be a better one, but I guess if it motivates him, it motivates him, right?
Do what it takes.
So they go to the convoy, and it's all being pulled by horses. And I didn't realize that there was just horses in this. And it makes sense, I guess, because you don't want to have Pegasus or unicorns pulling carriages like a petty horse. But everybody's like, oh my gosh, there's a horse. Like, they're more enthralled with that than they are any mystical creature. One of these carriages that are being pulled actually contains plague-ridden beasts. And they went like all extra about making sure that nobody messes with these carriages. Like, the carriages are in the middle of the caravan, so they're in one of the safest places. They're not going to get ambushed from the front or the back. They've got chains wrapped around this thing. They've got signs everywhere. They've got locks everywhere, and pretty much signs on like next to the lock saying "Don't open." So like they are making sure that they're very adamant about don't open this carriage. Zelfrey comes by, kind of give everybody the instructions, and everybody is adamant about finding out more about this tournament because, again, Hexa is over the moon excited about this, and she wants to know if they can compete because there's going to be other things the Frith Guild is going to have to do when they get to Thronehold. And Zelfrey's like, okay, well, in order for you to compete in the tournament, I need you to listen.
And my first thought is, if that's the rule, nobody's going to get to compete. If we've learned anything so far.
I imagine he probably would have taken a bet of like, you know what, I bet they aren't going to actually listen, so I'm going to not let them compete. There's even a point while Zelfrey's explaining that everybody's going to be taking shifts to watch the carriage with the plague-ridden creatures. Volk's going to be put on the night duty, obviously, with his ability to see in the dark. And he's also put on trying to train that ability to see at night to somebody else while he's on duty with whoever he's on duty with.
And this is assuming that he can actually figure out how to do it. He's struggled with it so far. So hopefully he can, come through when it's needed.
Right. And just needs to look at it from a different angle, I guess. So Belfry is also handing out these trinkets that Gilly made that makes them immune to the arcane plague. And Zelfrey gives them very simple instructions for these. Never take it off. This is what protects you from the arcane plague and from you getting infected. So I don't think I would need to be told twice or be emphasized that I should never take this thing off. But yeah, again, it's a good emphasis to put on there. And because of Zaxxas' ability to consistently burn his clothes. They give him a special trinket just so that way he doesn't accidentally burn it in the process. Now, at this point, Nicholin has had enough listening, and Zelfri's kind of that, like, okay, does anybody have any more questions? And Nicholin just kind of pops his head up and is like, how much listening is enough listening to participate in this tournament?
You need to know the minimum amount required.
Right, and just the, like, pinching the bridge of the nose, like, oh my gosh, why do I have to constantly deal with this, you know? Thankfully, Luther has decided to start helping Volk, being not surprised, and announces that somebody is approaching that is invisible. Volk kind of looks around, and he basically is standing there, and Fane drops his invisibility. And at first, Volk is very confused, actually really upset. He starts to look around at everybody else that's in the area, and kind of that, like, everybody's seeing him too, right? Like, I'm not the only one that's seeing him, and like, this guy, is he supposed to be here? Or after nobody like freaks out about the fact that Fane is there, Volk starts to have a conversation with him, and Fane tells Volk that he's actually going to Thronehold to speak with the queen, and he's actually participating on behalf of Gilly, as not necessarily as apprentice, but I'm not sure, as not a companion or something of the similar, but he's their colleague, I guess. At that point, Wraith decides to drop his invisibility as well. And Volk notices something. There's something different with Wraith. And he realizes that Wraith is actually missing his antlers. And he kind of clicks into place that all the trinkets that they were handed are what's making them immune to the plague. And Wraith is the one that sacrificed his antlers to make these trinkets.
And Wraith makes a comment that, you know, he's happily willing to essentially amputate himself because he knows it'll help Fane, and that's a sacrifice he's willing to make. So it's great to see the bond between them as, you know, always that bond between the Arcanist and the Aldrin, just so much stronger than anything else.
Yeah, we are appreciative of Wraith doing that and allowing Gilly to be able to make these trinkets to make them immune to the arcane plague. Volk's trying to be supportive of Fane, especially after finding out about what Wraith had done to try to help with everybody else. And Volk's kind of digging deeper with questions with Fane, and we find out Fane's real name is Tennant or Thibault Rouston. Volk is like, well, you know what? My last name is not actually Savon either. It's my born name is Volk Blackwater.
And there's some joking back and forth where Volk is almost surprised that Fane took up a second name, and he comments that, well, did you think Spider was really her name?
Like, this is not my given name at birth. Like, what kind of name do you think that would be? Especially with, like, Spider.
Yeah, there's some wild pirates out there. These are chosen names.
We're just going to make it easier for them later on in life and just name them Spiders. That way we just don't have to worry about it, okay?
They look like they're going to be a pirate when they grow up.
And this is where we end with Chapter 5 already in Coliseum. Thank you guys for listening. I want to give a special thanks to Dan Maxson, our editor. We can be found on Podbean, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and then we're also on YouTube. So if you want to watch a YouTube video rather than listen, we are on YouTube. We do also want to give a special shout out to Frith Chronicles fandom, as we actually even pulled them up in this episode. So thank them for that work that they do. You can get in touch with us by emailing us at frithguildpod@gmail.com. Or if you want to go onto our Facebook page and you can send us a message or comment on the page itself. We are beyond the moon again. I know, Scott, this is one of your favorite books too, about getting into Coliseum, and I've actually gotten like the next couple chapters already ready to go pretty much for the next episode, just because I'm so excited to read this book. Scott, did you have anything else you want to add today?
No, I'm with you. I'm queued up and ready for the tournament when it comes.
All right. Well, thank you for all listening, and we'll talk to you next week.